All right. Hi, friends. Heather Moran here. I am back with another boss woman to continue our saga of all the lovely interviews. Today, I have Simone McKenna with us. She is going to talk about all of fitness things and nutrition, and we're just going to have a real conversation about this because this is a struggle for everybody who is now at home. Hello, Simone.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We are surviving here. It is week one of having hubs home in the house as well, so it's interesting.
It's very interesting. So could you just kind of give us like an introduction of you and how you've got, like what you do and how you got there?
Yeah, sure. So clearly I'm not from around here. I am Aussie born and raised, but living in Columbus for the last 3 years. So I used to be a school teacher back home in Australia. I taught in the classroom, 5th and 7th grade, and then transitioned into phys ed for the last couple of years. So taught for 8 years. All towards the end of that was always really into my fitness and health, and started pursuing that a little bit more seriously. Got some really good results, and friends and family kind of caught on and wanted to know what I was doing, which kind of started my online blog, which is now my website, just my name, SimoneMcKenna.com. So being here in the States, I started personal training out of a gym. So I've got lots of gym questions and answers for you here today.
Yes.
And also went online as well with training and nutrition, just in order to grow my clientele, because knowing nobody here, it was really hard to build that personal training clientele. Fast forward a year, I now have my own studio and still train online, which is a blessing during this time because I have had to close my studio for the last going on probably 3.5 weeks now. So yeah, I'm just excited to be able to come on here and talk about what I'm really passionate about, and hopefully be able to get people moving and grooving how we should be.
Definitely. Yes, yeah. I love it. Keeping the movement and activeness as much as possible, which I know is a lot harder for a lot of people now with not leaving the home for work, not leaving to go to places. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about, like, for me, like I have my Fitbit and it's like the goal is to get, 10,000 steps a day. How are we supposed to do that now?
Yeah, well, honestly, just from our brief conversation earlier, was just like for someone like myself who doesn't miss a day, like I always want to be moving and exercising and, hitting those goals. It's like for the first time in a long time, I'm looking at my Fitbit at the end of the day and going, I haven't even moved for 10,000 steps today because, we're not going to the grocery store anymore. We're not meeting up with friends. It's just those incidental activities, parking the car a little bit further away, walking into work, where we're missing out on steps. And those, incidental steps is not a planned workout, do add up.
Yeah.
So how do we move now that we really aren't forced to do those things? Is more so being a bit more mindful about it. So if you're in Columbus and watching this in Columbus, like we've had a run of a couple of good days here, so I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but on days like this, get out and move, walk your local trail, because I know we're still allowed to do that for the moment.
Yeah.
Go and check your mailbox, just little things like that. But if you have a Fitbit or anything like a phone where you can set your alarm, if you set a little timer for however often you want to move, say every 20 minutes, which is supposed to be the best time to keep productive anyhow, to get in your steps. So it doesn't matter where you walk around in circles, but just get those
Run
steps.
down the stairs, come back up the stairs.
Exactly. Don't even lie. I did that for a few days when it was really cold out.
Yeah, and it was raining and awful, and you're just like, okay, well,
yes,
enough. You get your heart rate gets up, so it turns into cardio.
Yeah, I actually don't even recommend that because it was hell. But no, it was good. Skipping steps, running up, running down. I've realized I'm an elephant on my feet, super heavy, so not great for those who are sleeping. Yeah. But yeah, exactly. Things like that you've got at home. Stairs are always good. Steps, even if it's just one step, you can run up, run down it, squat up it sideways, squat up, squat down, lunge. Yeah. Take your kids to the park or take them for a walk around the block or whatever it might be. Just be really mindful and really set it in your schedule to go, because right now it's hard.
It is hard. Yeah. Like we with it being nice these last few days, we're like, okay, at the end, like in the afternoon, once my husband's done working, I'm like, let's go take a walk. It's nice out. The dog needs exercise. We need to move. Like otherwise we're just sitting, working all day and sitting because we want to watch TV later. Like we need to be moving more because we are, just so stationary for so long. And it's been really good. So we usually a good walk for us is usually about half an hour, 45 minutes. And that's a good mile or so. And it's enough that like the dog is tired at the end. I'm tired. I'm like, okay, that was great. Like this, it's good. You just feel better too, because all of that fresh air makes you feel better, and it's really good for your soul.
Yeah, for sure. And that had me thinking as well. It's like little times through the day so typically I'm sitting more now, which is probably like a lot of us, is think of those times in the day when you can be standing. So, I mean, we stand, we do the dishes, and typically you sit when you eat, and you'll sit when you're watching television and things like that. But maybe try and make those small adjustments to be standing a little bit more. And another really good way to get steps in and get that heart rate up is dance parties.
Yes.
Don't underestimate a dance party.
People doing that. I think it's good because having music also, not only it helps lift your mood too, right? So if you're feeling kind of like sluggish and kind of like down, and have some upbeat music and like move your body doing it, and then it just automatically puts you in a better mood.
Yeah.
At least it does for me.
Yeah. And I'm usually a stickler for putting in all of our, like what comes out of the laundry, it comes out of the dryer, I'll put it in our laundry basket and then walk it to the bedroom, fold it, put it away. So since I haven't been moving as much, I've just been doing what I can carry. So then I have to walk more often to the laundry, to the bedroom.
Yeah.
Small things where I can get it in.
Get some, because then you're getting extra steps, and it's a little bit more movement, even though it's not necessarily a workout, but you're still moving, and that's the ultimate goal, right? Is just at least be moving your body.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it. Awesome. So let's talk about moving your body in a different way. So many people have been used to going to a gym somewhere, right? Like your clients, you have clients that come to you at your studio, and now they can't. So now they're working out from home. What can people do? Like, what is that transition like for somebody?
Yeah. I think the best thing to start with this is for those people to ask themselves why they go to the gym in the first place. Like, obviously, other than the exercise, like, is it the accountability? Is it the community? Is it because you don't have any weights at your home? Like, what is it getting you closer to your goal? Like, what is your actual main reason for going? Mm-hmm. And then we need to try and emulate that at home. So I'm thinking more in regards to, if you have weights and things at home, but you don't use them, you always pay to go to a gym because you know that A, you're paying the membership, or B, you see your friends there, you like the group fitness classes, is emulate that. So set up those times. If there's friends that you meet at the gym, Zoom is the best thing ever because it's free for an account, and you can meet your friends online and still work out with them.
Yeah. So that's how we're doing our video today, is through Zoom. It's amazing.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
It really is.
Yeah.
So if it's community that you want, then that's my suggestion for that.
Totally. That was me, because I always liked when I did have a gym membership, like I liked going because I had somebody to be with, and knowing you had somebody to be accountable to like show up, and you were being accountable for them. Like, it's a huge motivator.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And a lot of us trainers are doing a lot of free online classes right now. So even gyms are. So even get in touch with your gym or a fitness influencer that you follow online and ask them, DM them, or find out with their schedules online when you can jump on. Because a lot of us are doing it right now just to pour into our community, because we certainly just mainly do it for the passion, really. It's like,
now you've got even so many people who weren't even going before, or who were clients of yours, and now they're like, I need to be doing something. So they're actively looking for these things, and being able to access this helps everybody. And then down the road, then they remember you, right? So if they are local and they're like, okay, well, she was putting all this amazing, awesome free content out there while everything was going to hell in a handbasket. And they're like, I loved like how she did her tutorials and how she did her, her reps and everything. Like, maybe they're like, I want to come and see you at your studio now. So maybe, and it could be a win in that sense. But also, if you have people watching these as free stuff, like, you're already winning because you're helping them.
Exactly.
Like, and that's the biggest thing ever.
Yeah. Exactly. That's my goal for the end of this, for people to be emailing me their transformation pictures saying, you helped me do this. Like that would just be
I love it.
such a blessing. But yeah. What are some things that people can use if they don't have, I'm just thinking like what people that go to the gym.
So I've seen people use like as far as like household items, like bottles of wine,
Yes.
cans of soup, because they weigh, I mean, they're a couple pounds, so we're not talking 25 pounders, but like if you're doing, if you're doing curls and stuff, like enough of those, you're going to start to feel it too. So if, I've seen people use cans of goods, like canned food goods. I've seen even with like bags of flour, those are like 3 pounds or 5 pounds or so. So that's substantial. So I mean, something is better than nothing, right? Yeah.
Well, any container that you've got, any leftover jar that you're no longer using, like fill it with sand, fill it with water. Yeah, like you say, it all weighs the same. It doesn't matter how glamorous it is or not.
It's maybe not the most glamorous, but
right. And just think about as well, like it's not necessarily what you lift, like how much you lift. Think about changing up your tempo, your timing, your repetitions, play around with even just like pulsing. Yeah. There's a lot you can do to make it harder.
Yeah, because if it's not as heavy as you're usually doing, but you're doing more of them, then I feel like at some point there's a middle balance point in there for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So I'm assuming you have a home studio though, right?
I do.
A home gym. Okay.
Yeah.
What, I do want to talk about nutrition as far as eating, because as we know, the grocery stores are chaos. There's a lot of things that the stores don't keep. They can't keep on the shelf because people are, panic buying. And so when so many people are buying it, there's just not enough supply for the demand. So how can we be eating better? How can we, make the most of the groceries that are available that we have already got? If we go to the store tomorrow, like what should we be looking for?
Yeah, for sure. So blessing and a curse all in one. If you are someone who has that addiction to a certain food or a craving for a certain food, like now is the perfect time to be disciplined in that 1 hour grocery shop that you do every 3 weeks. Because essentially we're supposed to be cutting back the amount of time we're spending in the grocery store. So we want to be, granted, our fresh produce is going to be a lot slimmer in the home. So we're not going to be using as much as that. But if you're someone who, I'm going to use my personal example, is pretzels and peanut butter. Like I've been newly introduced to that, and it's like as soon as a bag is in my house, forget it, they're done. Like I'm just going to literally scoop and eat. So when I'm grocery shopping or when I'm doing my click and collect list, like however it is you do your grocery shopping, it's literally 20 minutes of discipline that saves you the rest of the week. Totally. Because if it's not in my house, I can't eat it. Yeah. So although I want it when I'm shopping and it takes a lot of self-talk to not buy them, right, it's not at home. So we're really quite lucky here in that we're not just ducking out to McDonald's to get what we want, if that's your go-to, or we're not just, popping into the ice cream store on the way home. Those have been removed for us. Yeah. At the same time, we're probably stocking up on a lot more. I know us personally, I would rather go for fresh produce. It's just my personal opinion and preference. But, now I've been stocking up a lot more on frozen vegetables.
Same. We've definitely increased when I was at the store, I think it was last week, I picked up extra frozen veggies because I was like, honestly, I already know that these are going to last me. And there was, the whole thing was full. Like it was one of the cases that were still completely full. It wasn't picked over. And I was like, I'm just going to stock up. They were on sale. And I was like, you know what? We need them. And then,
they're not going to go astray. They're not going to go off or bad. Or
hurry up and eat them in the next 2 days because then they're bad. Right. Or,
Exactly. Yeah. And then, another thing to think about is sensible storage. So if you're unsure of how to keep a certain fruit, vegetable, produce item in its best form, Google it and find out, because you might be able to prolong some of that fresh produce for a lot longer than what you're expecting, like rather than just going bad.
What I can never get to seem to last very long is bananas.
You put them in the fridge. So
I always think that they're sitting out in the store, and I'm like, you can leave them sitting out at home, and I think that is not correct.
If you have a child or a husband like mine who is somewhat like a child with how he eats, it's so you get your bananas however you like to eat them. So if you like them a little bit harder, a little bit more green, buy them that way. Otherwise, however you want them. And then you put them in the fridge, in your fruit drawer, however, over time, over the next few days, they do brown, the skin, but the inside is perfect. The skin is still hard. That's how you notice the difference. If you leave them on your bench or in the dark or in your closet and your pantry or whatever, they go brown, but they also go soft. They don't in the fridge.
Good to know, because I bought our bananas, I bought them green so that they would last a little longer, right? So as they ripened, because I personally like a little bit firmer banana. And I was within a few days, I was like, oh my gosh, like we were having one a day, and I was just like, how did these go? Like the outside was starting to brown, the insides were still good, but I was like, how did this happen? Well, I need to keep them in the fridge.
Yeah, and away from other fruit.
So did they probably should not go in the drawer with all the other fruit, like the apples and oranges that are in there?
I do, because mine don't normally last long enough. I'm like you, we're both like a banana a day person. So mine don't typically last long enough, but yeah, keep them separate if you can.
Okay. Definitely love it. All right. Yeah. What other tips can you give us about some foodstuffs?
Yeah. If you own a crock pot or a slow cooker, that will be your best friend right now. You can put anything you like in it, like
literally
anything. You can, you can do over like oats in it. You can do, for your oatmeal, if you want something for breakfast, you can do your dinner in it. If you're one of those Wonder Women right now who are staying at home, still working, have all your kids at home, trying to homeschool, trying to keep on top of your house, everything, have that. You don't even have to cut stuff up sometimes. So it's brilliant for that reason. One of my favorites, it's a really quick one, super easy suggestion, is just to throw a little bit of broth. If you don't have any, it's just some water at the bottom of the bowl. Throw in your chicken breast whole is totally fine. And then just pour some salsa over the top. Like jarred is fine if you don't make your own. Throw the lid back on, and then you can put it on low or high. 3 to 6 hours depending, and it's so good. And then you take it out, you can either just pull it or you can serve it just as a full breast, however you like, but it's so simple and it's so cheap. And I'm sure you could use it for other proteins as well.
Oh yeah. So I've made like buffalo chicken dip in there. I've made like taco soup stuffs before.
Oh, they're my favorites.
Beef stew, all those things. But then the best part about them is you toss that all in the morning and let it cook all day. You're not having to cook dinner. So if you are somebody at home that has kids, like you're not having to like, oh, I have to hurry up and make dinner. It's 6 o'clock. What are we going to eat? It's been cooking all day, and you're going to smell it all day too. So then you're really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I do find with those kind of meals as well, you can extend it a little bit.
Yes.
So what you make in there, like your beef stew or whatever, and you enjoy it that night. And then if you have leftovers, and you can literally just put the whole pot in the fridge, which is brilliant, no cleanup. And then the next night, you might want to add some rice to it or some pasta, or like really drag it out.
Yeah.
To help it last a little bit longer, because we've been kind of feeling the same. We did stock up on a little bit, but we only have like a tiny little freezer that's attached to our fridge. So we couldn't go crazy like some I'm sure did. But
I mean, we have 2 fridge and freezers, but we didn't get like insane. Like we typically keep it stocked of stuff anyways, and just naturally to reduce the amount of times we're going to the store and buying stuff, especially because like for me, I would always buy stuff when it's on sale. So like when the meats were going on sale, I would always stock up then. So we had some, but like I also, want to like utilize what we have in addition to like stuff that I know, like, oh, we only had one thing of chicken breast left. Well, that's all we got, because you can't find those in store right now. So like you just using them long term. So I think I'm actually making beef stew right now. Like there's so much that I actually am probably going to have to end up putting it in containers and freeze it, because there's so much, and it's just, otherwise we'll be eating it for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 2 weeks straight. Like, and I'm like, well, and the problem with that is I never measure anything when I'm cooking. It's usually just like on site and by taste. So I'm like, oh, well, we definitely have a lot of super
That's good. Hey, that's better. That's just like buying canned soup, right? But better for you.
And I'd rather do that because it's all fresher. Well, the vegetables are frozen, but it's still fresher than getting everything from a can, right? It was all from scratch, like seasonings and broth and everything.
Yeah.
It tastes better.
Yeah.
Too. Like
I agree. I always think they're so much better the next day as well.
Yeah. So it's been cooking. So the meat was cooking yesterday, and everything else has been cooking all day today. So it'll probably be its most optimum tomorrow, even though we're going to have it for dinner tonight. So
yeah. Yum.
Oh, I'm like hungry thinking about it right now.
I know. I wish we could smell your house right now.
No, like I need a I need a thing that you can just smell a meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us about the free resource that you're going to share with us.
Yeah, so I'm going to be sharing a resource. It's just, there's going to be 2 separate PDFs, one for fitness, one for nutrition, completely depending on what you're after. If you want both, I would absolutely love for you to utilize them. The fitness PDF is just 10 different at-home workouts. The brilliant thing about this is they are listed with what equipment you need, if any. Majority of them don't. They are literally under 30 minutes in length. So if it's how you start your day or how you end your day, 30 minutes, tick it off as your exercise for the day.
That's the best.
Yeah.
30, because you're like 30 minutes is so long, and you're like, really, it's not, because a single TV show is usually 45 minutes.
I know. And
so like you could potentially do this while you watch a TV show in the evening, right? And like
exactly
stuff. So
exactly. And then the other PDF that I'm going to share, and this one's going to be a bit of a mix up. Don't expect it to be as beautiful as I share a lot of free ebooks on my website.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do a little bit of a mashup of them. So some might have pink pages, the other might have orange, and some might have green, but we're just going to put it all together because I want to share with you my favorite quick and simple home meals. So I want to be sharing like my taco soup. I want to be sharing my one pot wonders, the good old one sheet sausage and vegetable, because I just know that they're super easy and they're providing you with a really good full balanced meal. So a good carb, a good protein, and a good fat, and lots of vegetables, which is what we want. And also some of my favorite, what I call swaps. So if we all have that favorite, like buffalo chicken that you mentioned, I was like, yes, it's a good one that you can make a little bit healthier at home with very simple. Like a lot of these recipes are going to have canned products in them for you, because right now I'm not going to send you to the store, preferably at all, but I don't want you going out looking for coconut flour when you're
like
use
something
one ingredient
specific. Yeah.
Right. So this is going to be filled with diced tomatoes. It's going to be filled with onion powder. It's going to be things that I know that you'll have in your house or hopefully have at home that we can use. But
Love it. Perfect. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see these.
Yes, I hope people share them and tag me in it so I can celebrate in those successes with you, because I think right now we can be so hard on ourselves. And if you're working towards a really big goal, it's quite easy to either sidestep from it and think, well, I can't even work towards it right now, or completely avoid it. And it's just like, give yourself grace. We're all in this together. Do what you can
at a time, because sometimes there are days where you're just like, you're feeling yourself in the pit and you know that you're in not a good spot. So it's like, know that, like, accept that you're there, right? But then also like, don't let it detriment the next 3 weeks. Let it, it can be today, but tomorrow you're going to be better in whatever way that looks like for you. So
for sure. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for hopping on with me, Simone. I'm so glad that you were able to do this.
Thanks for having me.
Oh,
Yeah,
you guys,
absolutely.
so good. All right. Thank you, girl.